Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so I want you to imagine we're standing together right in front of a giant blank whiteboard. I've got a dry erase marker in hand, and we're going to draw out a solution to a software design concept that, well, it sounds intimidating, but I promise it's actually incredibly elegant. Today, we're demystifying the bridge pattern. If you've ever peeked at design patterns, you've probably felt totally overwhelmed by all that heavy academic jargon. But hey, we are leaving the complex code syntax at the door today. We're just going to figure out how to separate a project's fundamental structure from its specific style. And by the end of this, the bridge pattern is literally going to be your new best friend.
So here's our game plan. We've got 3 clear chapters. Chapter 1, the real-world analogy. Chapter 2, how the concept works. And finally, Chapter 3, the takeaway. Let's jump in.
Chapter 1, the real-world analogy.
All right, so back to our whiteboard. Imagine I'm drawing out a super basic web page. You know the drill, a home page, an about page, a contact page. Now, I turn to you and ask, how do we give our users the ability to switch between a light theme and a dark theme? Because, let's be real, everyone loves dark mode these days, right? It sounds like a really simple request, but honestly, from a structural standpoint, how we choose to build this right now determines whether our project is a total breeze or a complete nightmare to manage later. We basically have 2 main paths we can take.
Take a look at this contrast. On the left side of our board, we've got what I like to call the bad idea. This is where we create multiple copies of every single page for every single theme. We're talking a light home page, a dark home page, a light about page, a dark about page. You get the idea. But wait, what happens when marketing asks for a new red theme? Boom, we have to copy everything all over again. It's like building an entirely new house just because you want to change the paint color in the living room. It's a scaling nightmare. Now look over at the right side, the bridge solution. Instead of copying all those pages, we build a completely separate theme library. We keep exactly 1 copy of our structure, 1 home page, 1 about page, and we just load the theme colors dynamically based on what the user wants. We've literally separated the house's skeleton from the paint.
Moving right along to Chapter 2, how the concept works.
Okay, so if you ever go read up on the bridge pattern online, you're going to hit a massive wall of jargon, specifically this phrase, favoring composition over inheritance. Oof, let's break that down right now. No code required. Inheritance, that's kind of like biological cloning. In our bad idea example, we essentially cloned the web page to make the dark version. You inherit everything from the parent, flaws and all, which means things multiply out of control super fast. Composition, though, that is like building with Lego blocks. You don't clone the whole structure, you just snap on the specific pieces you need when you need them. So the big secret here is just bypassing that heavy jargon completely. Instead of cloning our web page over and over with inheritance, we're just snapping different colored Lego pieces, our themes, onto our single structural foundation using composition.
So, sticking with that Lego idea, how do we organize our blocks? Well, the golden rule of the bridge pattern is that implementation details are pushed from one hierarchy to an entirely separate hierarchy. Let's picture 2 separate lists drawn on our whiteboard. List A is our web page structure hierarchy, so the home page, about page, contact page, and list B is our theme hierarchy, light mode, dark mode, red mode. The beauty here is that these 2 lists exist totally independently of one another. The pages, they have 0 clue about the colors, and the colors don't know a thing about the pages. They just live happily in their own separate worlds.
So how do we actually bring these 2 separate worlds together? It's just 3 simple steps. Step 1, we build the web page foundation, that's our pure structure. Step 2, we create a separate theme library, that's our pure style. And step 3, we literally snap them together. By doing it this way, we are creating a literal bridge between our web page structure and our theme library. So when a user visits the home page and clicks dark mode, that bridge instantly connects that specific page from list A to that specific theme from list B. It lets us mix and match them whenever we want without ever duplicating a single file. Pretty amazing, right?
And that brings us to Chapter 3, the takeaway.
If you look up the bridge pattern on Wikipedia right now, you're going to find this really dense academic definition. It says the pattern is meant to decouple an abstraction from its implementation so that the 2 can vary independently. Now, if you read that cold, it probably sounds like absolute gibberish. But think back to our whiteboard drawing. This perfectly shows how our Lego analogy makes total sense of that Wikipedia definition. The abstraction they're talking about, that's just our web page structure. The implementation, that's just our theme colors. And decoupling them, that simply means splitting them into those 2 separate lists so they can, you guessed it, vary independently. We could add 20 new pages or 50 new themes, and they will never, ever interfere with each other. We have successfully decoupled the structure from the style.
To wrap up our little whiteboard session today, I want you to keep these core points in mind to keep from over-engineering your next big project. You're going to want to use the bridge pattern when you have multiple object variations that are just multiplying out of control. You know, like those cloned pages we talked about earlier? Use it to prevent a massive, tangled codebase. And above all, use it when you need to cleanly separate an object's core structure from its specific style. It's all about saving you time and massive headaches by keeping your building blocks organized. Which leaves us with one final question to ponder. What other heavy, complicated systems in your workflow right now could you dramatically simplify just by decoupling the skeleton from the paint? Think about it. Thanks for hanging out and learning with me today.